I should film in here or out there where there's good lighting. Okay. Okay, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today's I'm having like mini panic attacks. I'm not sure if they count as actual panic attacks, but every time I have this thought in my head, like my heart, like it's like an explosion of energy from my heart, and it hurts, but I can't stop it because I can't stop my thoughts, and it's just every time I think about it. Basically, on Saturday, I quit one of my jobs, and it's the restaurant job. I hope you guys can hear me. I quit my restaurant job. It's just a side job that I do when I'm not acting. I have worked there since December of 2017, and actually my husband recommended, we were just walking like towards my apartment and he saw it and he was like, oh, it looks like they're about to open, you should apply there, because I was I think I was looking for a new job. I don't know. This is right before I started like saving for the wedding and everything. So I applied there and I got the job, and I primarily like needed that job so that I could save for the wedding. So I had the restaurant job and my other one that's in Manhattan that I advertised for Broadway shows. So this is a Caribbean restaurant, and it has been very stressful. It is very stressful working there. Within the first couple weeks, I realized that it was not a professional business and they don't go about things in a professional way. I was a host there, and I saw very easy fixes that could help run the restaurant smoother on my part, like as far as like seating and everything. And I wrote them an email to say, hey, if we do this, then we'll have less problems with this. And they appreciated the email and they really liked it. They even wanted me, like they were asking if I wanted to be on the marketing team of the restaurant, and they also asked me if I wanted to do like office work as far as like reservations, and I was like, no, I really don't want to, like, I don't want to, like, this is just a clock in, clock out situation. I just want to come here, make my money and leave. I don't want to invest myself into it too much, because I was even though I was saving for the wedding and working all the time, I lost my train of thought. Even though I was saving for the wedding, I was still acting, and you don't want to come to New York and find a job that takes up all your time and all of your energy, because that's not what you're here for. So I was like, no, thank you. But anyways, they appreciated my email and they were like, oh, this is great, but they didn't take anything into account. They didn't change anything. And I was like, okay, this is how it's gonna be then, fine. They want shit to hit the fan every weekend, then that's fine, whatever. I wasn't in a place to leave at that point because of my wedding. And I figured, you know what, let me just work here until the wedding and then I'm gonna quit. The biggest problem with, let's see, I don't even know where to start. Like, there was just no organization as far as taking reservations. A lot of times there was too many reservations. reservations, large party reservations that were way too close to each other. It's just like very like easy fixes that they didn't fix, and I tried my best. So that was like a huge problem, just like taking reservations and managing reservations. That was an issue. Customers, customers, some of them, not all of them, are very rude, and I was not used to that, and let's just leave it at that. So the customers, what else? Management, the owners, okay, I will say the owners are St. Lucian, they're Black owners, so that was a great thing that they are Black owners. It's a Black owned business, but they need to be doing better, you know what I mean? To be at that level of professionalism, they need to do better. They basically they were all party promoters, and I guess they got all their money and said, hey, we're gonna open up a restaurant. So now they have two. From my perspective, if I were to start a business and I was not like knowledgeable about how to run a restaurant or how to do whatever I'm trying to do, I would hire people who have experience. And I don't think a lot of people on the upper level, the ownership level or the management level, have experience, and it really shows. Like even like I need to get to like the point of this video, but even the staff meeting, the one staff meeting that I went to, it was so unproductive. It was like such a waste of time. It was about 3 hours. I didn't even stay the whole time, but it was just like the most unproductive meeting I've ever been to. It was so unorganized. The things that we talked about did not benefit everyone. I don't think we came up with solutions to the problems presented. It was just like stupid, and I never went to another staff meeting because I was like, we're not going to get anything done. So it's just chaotic. That is the word that I would use for that business, is chaotic. But through it all, I would say the positive that came out of it, I met some really good friends over there that I hope to continue to be friends with now that I have quit. Okay, so I was already gonna put my 2 weeks in soon because I asked them for a raise. I've been there over a year. I think I deserve a raise. I'm their head host. I deserve a raise. Secondly, I found out that a male host was making more than me for doing the same job, and I was hired before him. So gender wage gap, that was another huge reason I was like, I need to leave, because they're paying me less for doing the same job as him. No. And they never answered me. Like when I was like sending emails and like talking to them about a raise, you would think they would at least give me a response. No response. Where am I on this story? Okay, so just I was gonna put in my 2 weeks like soon, but Saturday, oh, it was my limit. It was my limit. I'm a pretty chill person, and I feel like it takes a bit to try my patience, because I'm a very patient person. And okay, let's just get to it. So Saturday, we had a group come in, a large group, and I told them that our policy is we don't see incomplete parties. They got upset, And they started yelling and screaming. They were ghetto as hell. So before it even got to yelling and screaming, they were just kind of talking back and forth, and I'm like trying to tell them, sorry, this is our policy. At that point, I think my next step would have been calling a manager to the front because they were not listening to me. But before it could even get there, one of the servers comes over and she's like trying to tell me, oh, why don't you just tell them that the room is not ready yet? Even if I tell them the room is not ready yet, because there was a previous group in there that was about to leave, even if I tell them that, then they'll get mad that the room is not ready for their 8 o'clock reservation. So it does not matter what I say, they're gonna be angry and they're gonna be upset. So yeah, and so then at that point when she came over and she started talking to them, then they started getting really loud. And then at that point I'm like, can I have a manager to the front, please? A manager to the front. And then more servers come over as if it's like an after school fight or something. Like, I've never these are things that you see like on the internet of like people yelling and screaming and like it's just like, anyways. So then a manager finally comes to the front and like they're yelling and bickering and it's crazy, and then she like moves them upstairs and says whatever to them, and then she comes and asks to talk to me. So then we go downstairs to the office, and then she asked me what's going on. So my perspective, I think I'm gonna go downstairs and fill her in on what just happened. So I tell her what happened, and then she turns it around to being my fault. And this is not the first time that she's done this before. She'll say like, oh, well, you know, some people, and even the owner says that you're just unpleasant, like your face is not pleasant, or the way that you talk to customers. And always I'm like, who said this? When? Like, specificity. Whenever they want to say something negative about me or any other staff member, it is the vaguest. It is vague. They don't come to you and say, hey, you did this to this customer, I need you to not do that again. It's always like, you guys are bad, or you need to do better. It's like, that does not help me grow as an employee here. You have to be specific so that I can do better at my job. And if I'm not doing better at my job, then that's when you need to put me on probation or fire me or something. There has to be a process to this. You can't just be like, you're a horrible worker. Anyways, so this isn't the first time that she said this about my face or my voice. And I'm like, if I'm telling someone that they can't do something that they want to do you think I'm going to be sitting there smiling and like laughing? It's a sensitive situation, and I maintain my professionalism and my patience and my kindness. I've never been rude to a customer, ever. But she makes it sound like I'm just like this. She says that I'm too stern or whatever. It's hypocritical, because when she's talking to customers in the same situation, she has been even more rude. I mean, she has been rude because I've never been rude. Yes, I'll have to be stern because you're becoming aggressive and violent with me, and I'm trying to tell you our restaurant's policy. So I have no idea what they expect from a staff member in that situation. Like, I maintain professionalism and respect and kindness, and I think that's it's just a crazy situation. So anyways, she says that about like me again. I'm like, really, Tanika, really? As long as I've worked here. I was like, what did I even say? I didn't even know what I said. I was just like, are you serious? Because I was telling her what happened, like moment by moment, and I'm like, how do you know if I was being rude? You weren't even there. Like, if you think I was being rude, or if you heard I was being rude, like, I don't even know. Like, in that situation, I told you why they were upset, because they want to be seated even though they're incomplete. That's why they're upset. For you to bring up, oh, in the past people have said this, or that's irrelevant to what's happening right now in this situation. So that just told me that, you know what, it isn't me. I never believed it was me in any situation in the first place, but like the way that she constantly, consistently was make it out to be my fault, it makes me think, oh, am I in the wrong? Could I have done something better? Another situation, I'll come back to this, but another situation where it just like, I should have walked out that night. Some guy was like sexually harassing me. He was like blowing kisses at me, and I walked away. And then I walked past the table again, and he was trying to get my attention, and I completely ignored him. And so then the owner and the same manager, the female manager, sees me ignore them, and I guess they jump to conclusions that I'm being rude. I don't know how, because I'm not a rude person. They jump to conclusions, and so that she pulls me to the side, and she is like, what was that about? And I was like, he was doing kisses at me, so I ignored him. And so then she was like, oh. But then she like went on to make her speech about my face or my tone of voice, and I'm like, really? Like, in this moment where a man violated me, you're not going to stand up for me? Like, you're really gonna lecture me as if that was my fault? And she was like, oh yeah, he was in the wrong, but still, like, you could be nicer to customers. And I'm like, are you kidding right now? Like, in that moment, I was just like, wow. And I was so disappointed because, you know, she's a woman. I thought she would understand. But even it is really disheartening for you not to feel safe in your workplace. It's just really disheartening and probably illegal. The owner also asked me like later on what happened, and I told him. He just said, oh, you're not gonna ask me if I'm okay? You're not gonna like help to prevent that from happening again? Like, it's just ridiculous. At that moment, I should have walked out, but I didn't. So anyways, fast forward to this past Saturday, after she gave me the speech again of how I need to be more pleasant in my face and in my voice, I was like, I'm done. Like, I didn't say I'm done. I was just like, the conversation came to an end, and I was like, oh my God. In my head, I'm like, oh my God, Jessie, am I about to walk out right now? I was trying to think of my shifts and how much income I'm gonna have for my other job in the next couple of weeks, because I'm like, can I afford to quit right now? But I was just so angry and so disrespected that I told the other people, like, I'm going on a break, but I didn't come back. And the crazy thing is that none of the managers have like called me or like nothing. And I was talking to another coworker, and usually when people quit or get fired, they get removed from the group chat. And I haven't been removed from the group chat, so I'm like, they cannot expect me to be coming in to work this weekend. They cannot. Anyway, so yeah, I have been extremely like, I don't know, there's a lot of things happening in my life right now, and it's like manifesting in my body. So I'm like having like many panic attacks, and like my eczema is like flaring up around my mouth. I literally was like, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? That's eczema. Anyways, it was all for the better, and it was long overdue to like leave that place, because it's just really, it's not my first time being in a situation at work that is extremely like unprofessional and disrespectful to its workers. And it's just, I'm thankful that we have laws to protect us. And I think that companies and businesses, they need to be held accountable for the way that they treat people, because it's just ridiculous. And some people don't have a choice, because like that's their income. Like, can you imagine if I had a kid right now? Like, my income determines their well-being. The only person I have to worry about right now is myself and my husband, or realistically myself. So it's kind of crazy, because the business is like across the street from where I live, so I have to see it every time I come home or leave my apartment. I think I'll stop being so nervous about it once I get my last 2 checks that I have to go pick up, and then once everyone, all the staff and all the management and the owners know that I'm not coming back, I think that's when I can like move on. And like, I'm excited. Like, I know, like, I'm in this panic and this kind of, I don't know, like change, and change is really hard sometimes, even if it's for the better. It's just really, I don't know. Do you guys have any like crazy workplace stories? Have you been through this? And I'm sorry if you have, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to moving on and not being in a negative space, because that was where I was when I left on Saturday. I was like, this is not worth my peace. I only want to be around positivity at whatever cost. So I will no longer have to be in that negative space. Thanks guys for listening. I feel like my voice sounded disgusting this entire video. But anyways, I went to work this morning in Manhattan, and then I went to get my rings cleaned. It doesn't sparkle on here. And now I'm gonna go clean my room, eat, and then hang out. All right, I will see you guys in my next video.